tough crowd. Good afternoon, everyone. Wow. Sunday afternoon, it's extremely hot. You need to drink a little bit of water. Let's do that one last time, right? Afternoon. All right. Thank you very much for having me here, GDG family. Last time I was here was about the 10th year. We had it at the Auditorium, Museus College. And then before that was about 15 years ago. And then, I have my elder son here, who's now turning 15, and I just wanted to bring him what a 15-year journey looks like, and it's been fantastic. So thank you, GDG, for having me. It's fantastic, and I have the responsibility of opening up and talking to you a little bit about, maybe a little bit about AI. Of course, my era with Google has ended about 15, 20, maybe about 12 to 14 years ago. But I still hold that very, very close to my heart, probably the best kind of couple of years I had. We started from very humble beginnings at Park Street Muse. Then it had continued, and I think today this is by far the largest developer community meetup we have in the country. So thank you very much again, GDG, and welcome to DevFest 2024. So I will do the keynote. And let me get my clicker working. And then this is me. And today I want to talk a little bit about democratization of human ability. A lot of people ask me, what the hell does that mean? I think, let me explain to you with my next slide. There are two things that I felt that was really, really important to note in our human kind of a journey. I think in some years ago, probably about a century ago or more than that, I think in 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, the printing press was invented and was implemented across. What did it do for us? Suddenly, the knowledge that actually was residing in human brains, either by tacit knowledge, right, suddenly got onto a piece of paper, then became books, whatever it is, and then suddenly, all of us were able to absorb it, read it, understand it, reread it again. It also led way for tremendous amount of innovation by people creating things, sharing ideas, sometimes controversial, sometimes it's not, but then the ability for people to do things and democratizing of that knowledge base started this incredible journey for all of us. And I think today, we are probably in the same kind of a situation. And I will talk a little bit about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing maybe at the end. But I think today, what AI is really doing is what human ability, human talent is a level of democratization. Now, I could have done this PowerPoint slides with AI completely. Earlier, I would have had to ask one of our graphic designers to help me out. But that's what I mean by democratization of human ability. Now, what will that mean to us? It's very, very interesting. We'll talk a little bit about it towards the end, but let's just dive in. Now, in order for us to be able to make it a democratization to take place, we need to start identifying AI, in my mind, as a general purpose technology. What does a general purpose technology mean? It's like you need to have a utility factor. What is a utility factor? The ability to be able to consume and be on demand, like electricity, like water. It has to be on a general purpose. It has to be available all the time. And I think there are three things that drives this. And today what I want to do is to spend a bit of time and explain to you what are those three things are. And then some of them are already in place, some of them are in the making, and I think what we'll eventually see over the next maybe 5 to 10 years, and there are supportive ecosystems that need to come together. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then those things coming together is where really the democratization will start taking place. Now, that may mean that all of us have to rethink the way we looked at the world, thought about our own skill set, etc. But that's where I think the world is heading. The first one I want to talk about is, if you really want to make a general, widespread technology, you need to have a widespread use cases. What are widespread use cases? Things that you and I will be able to use, or humans potentially need on a day-to-day basis as a use case. I think a lot of people might understand what is a use case. Use case to me in my mind is something that is a real-world problem that needs to be solved. And it could be solved by technology, it could be solved by a system, it could be solved by a process, or it could be a combination, all of that. Now, one of the great examples of that is this particular one. I don't know how many of you heard about Catwork. This is a very famous case study. I think they have now just signed off acquisition, which is in 2027, based on a milestone, I think, close to about $500 million acquisition that is going to take place. Catwork is this incredible technological platform that Catwork has developed that takes a tremendous amount of inputs from angiograms. I think all of you probably are way too young to think about angiograms. At my age, it becomes something a little bit important that you need to start thinking about, especially over the last couple of months with the unfortunate news we hear. Then you do this, and you would want to know what the kind of analysis and what need to be done. And I think Catwork is a real-world use case of really taking angiogram inputs and really being able to analyze and tell what kind of a situation, your heart health, and where you stand in this entire part of it. So these are some of the examples of real-world use cases that AI is currently solving. This is one part of it in the pharmaceutical side, but there are many use cases such as that. What is the second part of it? The second part that is needed for the technology to really be general purpose is that it has to grow rapidly. And I think this is something that we have seen. I don't think I need to harp on this too much. You will see that Intel in 1965, I think there's a guy from Intel, Jeffrey Moore, who got Moore, I think, yeah. And he basically told about, there's technology doubles in 18 months, and of course, I'm going to copy this joke, bad joke. He said, hold my beer, and AI said, we are going to do it 2 times every 6 months. And I think that's the rapid growth that we are seeing across all of these technologies, especially in the AI model development, etc., that we are seeing that is really going to drive that. And I think further to that, there is something that is this Google scientist, Hartman Navin, probably in the name, but a scientist who came up with this Navin's law, and it takes the analysis of quantum computing capability that might take over, and then in comparison to classic. And I think what you're seeing at the bottom left corner, a red line is where currently the world stands. And I think in the future, in time to come, by about 2032, we are expected to have a significant progress in quantum computing as well. And today there are very limited, though, if any, probably non-quantum computing real-world applications, but that is all going to change. And that is all going to fuel this entire AI game that is going to take place. And obviously, Google has serious investments in this space as well. Now, the third one is where I really want to talk to you a little bit about. The first one is very obvious. You need to have real-world use cases. All of you are likely to be part of solving some of these use cases. The big dollars, billions of dollars that have been invested is going to go down in terms of really propelling this accelerated growth in AI space. But this third one, this is, I think, an old economic term. That particular term is called innovation complementarity, right? When I was preparing for this keynote, I actually heard about this, and I wanted to spend a bit of time understanding it. But technically, in simplifying what that means, it technically means 2 things. One is, there has to be a lot of surrounding systems and processes that need to be in place for that general utilization to come in, number 1. Number 2, we as humans, we as people, have to make it our own. It cannot stand out as an independent part, and that we will not be able to relate to and associate ourselves with. But if we don't make it our own, then it will not become a general utility capable kind of a technology. So the very first one is almost more or less currently being happened. So I've spoken about quantum computing and what it could do by later on by powering AI. I didn't speak about, but I want to talk a little bit about the ability of robotics that will come into play, and that will power this part of it. So in summary, this is just illustrative, these particular images, but there's an extensive AI support system, ecosystem, that is currently being built. And today they say the computation is not the challenge, energy is the challenge for the growth in this particular space, and that is why they are recommissioning power plants, nuclear power plants, because the energy need has been one of the big items in terms of really being able to support this growth. Now, the second one, I want to show you this particular video. It was a little bit nostalgic, and I kind of got it off from YouTube, but only a part of it. Some of us grew up with this. I don't know how many of you remember this, right? There are a few people with smiles on their face. I think there are people who kind of remember this. If you haven't seen it, you missed out a good part of 1980s, by the way, right? There's a bit of a video, like there's a big announcement in last year by Mercedes, and this particular part of it, this guy is saying, Mercedes, tell me why why am I not picking Audi? And the Mercedes, the car calls back and say, well, the fact that you are in a Mercedes answers that, isn't it? Doesn't it, type of thing. So essentially, we are seeing a lot of these actual use cases and making it our own part now taking place in this particular domain. So the three things I mentioned. One thing is, it's really, really important for us to be able to talk about, sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just get a little bit of a sip of water. Right. So the three things that I spoke about in driving the AI part of it, this making it our own is one of the very, very important things. I'll summarize it at the end. Let me just come back. Right. 2024 was also the year of agents. How many of you heard about agents and have decided to develop agents? Anyone? Show of hands. Right, so this is the year that a lot of things actually started to come together. I'm hoping there will be a session after these technical sessions where people will start talking about agents, right? And I think this is probably after the LLMs that is compounding, and then we talk about agents. We believe that this is one of the very important steps, that will really take AI to the next level. Now, however, if you ask who or what is an agent, if you ask 5 people just like AI today, you will actually going to get 5 different answers from it. And when I started to study this, when I listened to different people about it, these people have a very different kind of interpretation of what an agent is, right? So please spend the time, understand it, and they really say that 2024 was the big year for agents, and that is really going to help us take our journey in AI to the next level. And I think that's going to be something that is going to be a game changer. The last part is this very important thing called AI at the edge. You might have heard about it. Today, the need for us to be able to bring AI to real-time integrations with people and the systems and processes is something that has been driving this particular topic called AI at the edge. How do we really bring the infrastructure process systems to be enabled so that you actually have the power of AI at the very edge of it, at the very edge as we need it, etc. Let me demonstrate a very nice video. This used to be a video I used to play some time ago, about 5-10 years back, when I was presenting about the future. And this is a very interesting scenario. I think this is where we all of us sometimes I would have loved to have this technology 25,000 years ago. Maybe this will help my son, right? So essentially, you would actually want to look at this particular thing is, they actually have these contact lenses powered by a algorithm, whatever you want to call it, but has tremendous amount of real-time analysis and support through the journey of this extraordinary process of dating and building a relationship with another person. I'll just allow this to be played for a little while longer, and then you will start understanding. And I think someone was asking me about it, and then in that particular answer, they said, well, we have pretty much all of this. It's very expensive at the moment, but what we haven't figured out is how do we power this on the eye or inside the eye. So that's going to be really, really interesting part of it as well. All right, at the end of the day, we have a Data Protection Act in Sri Lanka coming into effect by March 31st next year. Whether that will get pushed back or not, we don't know. Then there are serious concerns about ethics, consent, privacy, will this be the terminator of our era, etc. There's all these doubts, fears, all of that is taking place. How would these technologies be used by certain governments, certain organizations, certain individuals? Would that really be the right way, the wrong way? And who decides what is the right way or the wrong way? Now, the answer to that, I don't think any of us have it, and any of us will be able to predict it either. But I think what is really understanding, I was just listening to, there's a great video, a 20-minute video of Eric Schmidt giving an interview about AI and its future, and I recommend that you actually take a moment and listen to that. That particular video, and he talks a little bit about the importance of regulating, how governments need to come together and start regulating, and he talks about the concept of AI regulating AI, type of very interesting concepts that are not yet not available in real world, but I think over the next couple of years that they would really, really like to see coming together to make sure that there is some level of sanity, there's some level of control, maybe, whatever that will be there. So I wanted to just give this, and obviously, no AI-related conversation will be complete without a quote from Morpheus, from Matrix. So here we are. I just plugged that one in. And then, for me, this is, for those who have not seen it, this is a cartoon that was created in 1962. And it talks about the world in 2062. The cartoon name is Jetsons, right? And there's a great article online if you want to read about it. And the weirdest and the funniest thing about this particular cartoon is that some of the things that they speak about, or the way they are projecting in the world, they got a lot of those things right. And I want to leave you with this important quote: "The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious." And I would like to leave you with an additional quote by Larry Page, who basically someone that, I looked up to, etc., for the last maybe 20 years. And he said, organizations and societies or even people fail when they miss the future. So let's make sure today, starting today, if not we have been doing it all this time, but for the future, that we don't miss the future. And I think Sri Lanka is in a very interesting place where we actually have the capacity to really own the future and develop a future that is really powered by AI and really leapfrog ourselves for all the 10, 20, 30, 100, whatever years that we missed out on. But I think we really have the opportunity to build towards that. So with that, I really think that democratization of human ability is upon us. We have to get ready for it. And I think that is what really means that we're reimagining ourselves in the way that we are doing things and how we think about things, etc. Have a great DevFest 2024. Thank you to the organizers for having me once again. It's been such an amazing journey to see how DevFest has grown. Good luck to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rohan, for that incredible keynote on democratization of human ability. So I'm very sure that your insights on how technology has been empowering individuals and transformed and unlocked human potential have set a powerful tone for the rest of the day. So we have prepared a token of appreciation for you to show our gratitude for joining us today at DevFest Sri Lanka 2024. So I'd like to invite you back over to the stage, and to present you with the token of appreciation, I now invite Mr. Damsara Ranasinghe, GDG organizer here in Sri Lanka, over to the stage.